You know, one of the biggest shifts in software engineering is happening right now, under our noses. And no, it's not science fiction. It's about putting artificial intelligence right into the heart of the software development lifecycle, or the SDLC. So today, we're going to explore how AI is completely changing the game for how we build, test, and deploy software.
So let's just start with a simple question. What if every single phase of development could be better? I mean, imagine getting rid of all that friction, cutting down on silly mistakes, and freeing up your teams to focus on what they were hired to do, solve the big, interesting problems. That's the promise we're digging into today.
The best way to think about all of this is the idea of an AI Copilot. Now, this is not about replacing engineers, not at all. It's all about augmenting their skills. Think of it like an incredibly smart assistant that's always there to handle the routine stuff, automate the tedious work, and even offer up some pretty valuable insights. It's a real partner in the whole process. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to take a journey right through the entire SDLC. We'll start with crafting code, then jump into automating quality and builds, tackle operations and deployment, and then wrap it all up by looking at what a future-ready SDLC really looks like.
Okay, first up, let's start where developers live and breathe, actually crafting the code. This is probably one of the most immediate and powerful places where you can feel the impact of AI.
So just take a look at this workflow. With an AI Copilot, a developer can literally just describe a function in plain English, and boom, the code gets generated. As they start typing, the AI is already predicting what they need and auto-completing it, which is a huge time saver. Then it's finding potential bugs in real time, before you even commit. And to top it all off, it can even write the documentation for you. I mean, every single step just gets smoother.
Oh man, this slide is perfect. It's the ultimate before and after. On the left, you've got that tangled mess of a merge conflict. You know, the thing that can grind an entire team to a halt. It used to be this frustrating manual nightmare. But now, on the right, you can see how AI can analyze those conflicts and actually suggest intelligent solutions. It turns a massive headache into, well, a pretty minor speed bump.
And what about code reviews? Another critical step, right? Well, an AI Copilot is like having an expert reviewer on call 24/7. It can spot bugs a tired human might miss, make sure everyone's sticking to the coding standards, and this is a big one, it can find potential security vulnerabilities. The bottom line here, your code gets safer and better before it ever gets merged into the main branch. Okay, so our code is written, it's been reviewed. Now let's move on to the next stage, making sure our quality is top-notch through an enhanced CI/CD pipeline. Anyone who's built a CI/CD pipeline knows it involves a ton of scripting, usually lots of YAML. Well, AI can now suggest and even generate these scripts for you, everything from running your unit tests to deploying your app. And you know when a build fails and you're staring at a wall of text, AI can help decipher those complex build logs and get you back on track way faster. Now, a really key concept in QA is something called test coverage. It's pretty simple, really. It's just a metric for how much of your code is actually being run by your tests. And yeah, you guessed it, a higher percentage is always better. And this is where AI gets super powerful for quality assurance. It doesn't just generate a bunch of random tests, it actually analyzes your code and your existing tests to find the gaps, the missing puzzle pieces. It points out the exact test cases you need to write to boost your coverage. This means more of your app gets validated, all automatically. You know, managing the whole QA environment can be a huge time sink for engineering teams. AI tooling helps automate this by helping with setup, generating testing scripts, and even handling the tricky business of setting up test data. And crucially, it helps make sure your QA environment looks a lot more like your production environment, which makes your testing way more realistic and reliable. All right, our code is written, reviewed, and thoroughly tested. So what's next? Well, we've got to get it out there and make sure it stays running smoothly for our users. Let's talk operations. This number, 99.99%. It's what we call 4 nines of uptime, and it is the absolute holy grail for any operations team. It's the gold standard for reliability. But let me tell you, achieving it, and more importantly, maintaining it, is a massive challenge. This is where AI just completely changes the game. Instead of waiting for something to break and then reacting, AI can analyze all your logs and metrics to predict failures before they actually happen. This is huge. It shifts your team from being reactive to proactive, letting them fix problems before a single customer is ever affected. So when things do break, engineers get these lovely cryptic messages.
Just picture it. It's 3 a.m., the system's down, and you are staring at this message on your screen. I mean, where do you even begin to figure out what went wrong?
Now look at how AI transforms that whole stressful experience. It takes that cryptic log and, as you can see, it translates it into a clear, human-readable explanation with a real, actionable suggestion. It tells you the what, the why, and a possible how to fix it. This just drastically cuts down on downtime and, frankly, a lot of stress.
And let's not forget artifact management, storing and versioning your deployable code. AI can automate so many tedious tasks here, like setting up new repositories, managing version numbers, and even flagging potential dependency conflicts. It just ensures a much smoother, more reliable deployment pipeline.
So, we've walked through pretty much every phase of the lifecycle. Now, let's kind of zoom out and see what happens when you bring all of these pieces together, the huge cumulative impact of having an AI copilot across the entire process.
This table just ties it all together so nicely. Look at that first row. When you're crafting code, AI generation directly leads to increased developer velocity. Simple as that. In the quality phase, improving test cases gives you higher code quality. And in operations, that predictive analysis we talked about delivers what every business wants: greater system reliability. Each phase gets a boost, and together, it's a powerful effect. And this really brings us to the final and I think most important question. When you automate all the routine, tedious stuff, you free up your incredibly smart people to do what they do best: innovate. The real power of AI and the SDLC isn't just about moving faster, it's about unlocking human potential so your team can go out and tackle the next great problem.